Hi ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Genshin Impact 1.5 has fully swung for the fences. Oh my god, we have so much to talk about. We have so many things. Wait to get into it. This is going to just be a video. We're running down all the new things. I actually made this video beforehand, and then I realized that in an hour they were going to release the live stream, which is a little staggered out this time around. But it's up, it's going in the background right here, and it's so endearing, man. First of all, Zhongli there, magical voice actor. Second thing, they're really hammering this Zack guy, this main traveler. They're like, you have no friends and we hate you. It's just like, whoa. This is a rough game. Watching some bullying happening. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into 1.5. I'm not sure if we should go in order. Let's just cover a bunch of stuff shotgun blast style. We're getting a teapot and housing with, it seems like, deep progression, like almost exactly what I wanted, where we start off with this shitty hut and then you can literally build an empire, or like a huge area, and the more you build, the more like spiritual energy you gain, and that's an event in itself. You can actually use that currency to actually buy like materials, and I'm not sure if that's going to be a continuous thing. Oh, it would be cool to like have that be something of like having this home also be an economy, to where if you build up more and you have like a more pretty looking house with more objects, they pull in Adeptus energy and you can spend that on a weekly thing, so it incentivizes deep investment in your house because it's going to pay you forward with maybe a couple experience books every week or whatever. I don't know if that's what it's going to be, but absolutely hyped. Not only that, but one of the things that they didn't actually show us, which is actually a huge buzzkill, is in the Japanese version, I believe they showcased images of Inazuma, like concept art of Inazuma, and I don't know why they didn't do that here. Rough. But essentially, we're getting a brand new character, two new characters. One of them is a 4-star. We're also getting Zhongli brought back, and we're getting this brand new physical, well, we're getting a brand new Claymore user, which we'll talk about in a minute. That's absolutely amazing. We're getting Diona for free. We're getting Prop Hunt. We're getting a brand new World Boss. We're also decreasing the cost of World Boss resin so that we can do all of the World Bosses within 1 day cycle of resin. Fantastic. Thank you. Prop Hunt, I mentioned that. It'd be crazy. Just everything. Genshin's just like, it's mine. It's ours. It's mine. Okay. We're also getting brand new artifact sets, because I haven't talked to you guys' ear off about that enough, which is very much made for Razor and Zhongli. We'll get into it, and we're also getting a brand new weapon. We'll get into that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive deeper in, but that is a quick synopsis of everything coming in 1.5. Let's get into it. Also, follow us on the Discord, because in our Discord information tab, we always post those links to the special free Primo Gems and such, so go us. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let us get into all the new characters, specifically this absolute lovely individual who looks so good. Oh my god, they look so good. She is a person from Mondstadt. She is Mondstadt affiliation. She's a noble, but apparently her noble family got destroyed by Mondstadt or the Knights of Avonius. But yet she's working for them. I don't know if they raised her or whatever weirdness, but look at that. Oh my god, so she is a Claymore user who's dealing high physical damage as well as ice damage, and she attacks in a flurry. You know how most Claymore users like Diluc and Razor, they just kind of go, and they just like chop like a cleaver. Well, she actually has like this method of dancing, which looks beautiful, and her attacks seem quite fast, and well, frankly pretty. But yes, okay, the best way I can describe this character, just as a quick TLDR, is she is a mixture of Razor and Chunyun. She is cryo, but she's also heavily physical damage based, but also I think she's way more Razor than Chunyun. Chunyun just because she's ice based and she can kind of benefit from that. But she seems like she's heavily invested into physical damage gain. But as you guys can see, she looks absolutely immaculate. She's, again, a cryo user, which cryo is such a valuable element, so this is going to be a great character. Did I mention she's a 5-star? She's a 5-star character, Claymore user. Amazing. That just should be enough to sell you. Also, she seems like she attacks incredibly quickly. which is great. Well, what certain rumblings have indicated to us is that she very much seems like a berserker-like character, where similar to Razor, except unlike Razor, who's all about getting to his ult faster, she's about just giving to physical damage amplification and cryo damage amplification for her thing. So her kit kind of works as use her E, build stacks, hold down your E to gain the benefits of said stacks, and also use your ult, and the ult kind of works in a similar manner. And then her constellation just facilitate you doing that easier, building stacks. Okay, so right here is her E. She just does basically it's a fast thing. So this comes back, I believe, in 5 seconds. So it's a very fast E. Razor's comes back in 3 seconds, but that's because of his kit. It reduces it. The more sigils you have, the faster you can slash. But I digress. 5-second cooldown on E, very, very fast. So essentially what this is that you can quickly keep doing that. You can keep swinging, just a quick swing, boom, hit, and then you get like a bunch of ice particles, and you build up stacks. I wish there was a way that you could see how many stacks you have built, which is a little frustrating. But anyways, yeah, her E, just a quick wallop, just kind of like a thwap and then done. Very cool. Yeah, so that's her E again. It's just a quick slash. Okay, so I think that's her hold right there. Yeah, so you hold it down, and then you cast forth, like, you basically summon it. So you build the charge with your E, and then you hit hard with your E in the same sense. With, I think, these swords that plunge down, kind of like a weird Chung-Yung ult, it seems like. So that's why I say she's, like, very much Razor, because she's all about building stacks and keeping in melee damage, and she scales off physical damage to some extent. And also Chung-Yung, who has his ult, who is like a sword stab kind of thing. And this is her ult, okay? Not Chung-Yung's ult. Okay, so they don't really talk about how much is going on with this ability, but with her ult, she essentially uses her ult. She gets a decent amount of cryo damage affected, but then this like glowing sword hovers around your right shoulder or whatever, and it starts accumulating charges based on anything that you do. You can do normal attack, charge attack, use her E's, use her charge E, whatever it is. Every single time you do that, it starts building up charge within this broken sword above you. And then finally, when it ends its duration, or I believe you can cast your ult again and this will actually deposit it, or when you die, your sword will just shatter immediately. But basically, you're building up charge, and then your ult is going to eventually pop, and it's going to deal supposedly physical damage. So you have this broken sword above you, but you're getting, like, it's kind of crazy because you're getting the benefits of cryo damage, just like an initial ult with a decent sum of damage. But then you're accumulating a charge in this broken sword that's going to pop and eviscerate. So she seems crazy. Not only that, but I think I said she scales off physical damage. No, she doesn't. She scales off of critical damage, it seems. If rumors are to be believed, if these nonsense crazy people I've been hearing are to be believed, yeah, any character that scales off physical damage is just like, oh. But also, because her ult scales off of physical when it pops, that means physical damage, which you're going to want to build her, as well as I think her E scales off physical damage as well. Kind of like, yeah. I digress. She seems utterly stacked. She's the 5-star, and she's definitely in the role of a DPS. Again, the fact that she scales off critical damage is like enough. It really is enough to go off of. She looks great. Again, if you need a DPS carry, I do think to some extent she is kind of like a Razor. I do think she's one of the, like, she's the main DPS. She's a character that it seems like you need to play her, not as much as other people, not like Xiao, but yeah, I don't think her ult stays up if you switch characters and you're like using another character's E to build the same charge. I don't think that's how that works. So yes, it's a main DPS role. It's for the people who really want that, but also she's a fast hitting claymore user that's going to deal a shit ton of physical damage, also cryo damage, also amazing amounts of burst damage with physical scaling with her ult. So she seems stacked, like super good. Like if you're like struggling with the game because you don't have enough damage, that's a character that I would think it's like a no-brainer to build. Not only that, but there's an artifact set coming out that very much is a physical damage artifact set. We can see it in this trailer. We're gonna go over it. It's crazy. So that it just makes like the facilitation of leveling her and getting her very easy, it seems. I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Yennefer. Also, Elu. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with names, but that's what her name was. But I'm terrible with names, so I avoided it. Yennefer. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very interesting 4-star character. She's going to be coming with Zhongli, by the way, and I believe Zhongli's banner is going to be the first that we actually get to roll on. Zhongli and her as the 4-star, as well as whatever 4 stars they add. I digress. Yennefer very much seems like something that I kind of wanted, but a little bit of a offbeat thing. Essentially, she is what seemingly seems like weird sentence. She seems like she's a DPS caster because she scales off fire, and she's all about building up a charge. So she's kind of like a weird caster berserker as well. Or for her, it's all about building up charge with her basic normal attack, and then using her charge attack to burn those sigils that she has around her to deal like a massive amount of damage. And her charge attack is quite literally this giant unicorn stamp or donkey stamp that just comes and smashes people into the ground. So she's basically kind of a berserker, but also very, very AoE based. So she's I think that's the goal. It's not like her damage scales crazily high when you build stacks, which it kind of does, but I feel like it builds more for just mass AoE outputting, because she can basically she has certain things in her skill tree which nullify charge attack. So you can just charge attack, and just keep smashing with your unicorn. I also think her charge attack scales better than most things. But, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that is her general kit. I do believe her E, let's check it out actually, because I'm not really 100% sure. I just know how her like base melee works, which seems really, really fun. And that to me is the thing that's kind of heartbreaking, just a little side tangent. Both of these characters seem like so much more my alley. They seem fun, they seem fantastic, and they're maybe the characters I miss out on. The reason why is because I just needed damage back in the day, so then I had to get characters that I had leveled and invested in, and now to like get a new character and like level and invest in them, but that would leave my other characters behind. It seems like a bad sitch. It seems like a bad situation. Okay, so her E is basically just a huge amount of damage, like a deploying of a massive damage, and also it gives her max stacks for her charge. So again, use her normal attack, build charge, hold charge, do a lot of damage. But her E gives her the max stacks of that charge. Her alt does the very same thing, except her alt gives her like a status effect, like brilliance it's called, or maybe it's not called that, who knows. It's called that, regardless. It basically is just a massive buff to her. It kind of incentivizes her playstyle. And that's something that I think seems wonderful at, is she seems like she cycles within herself really well. Like, okay, also she seems like you could switch to her, use her really well, and then switch off, and then everything's on cooldown, and you could come back to her, and she could be really good still. Or you could be playing your main DPS, switch to her, use her E, use her alt, smash the charge attack button, then switch off. And then maybe when you have her alt, you would use your E, use your charge attack, use your alt, use your charge attack, and then maybe just throw a couple more charge attacks until you have no stamina, because she's also ranged, and then just cycle forward. Needless to say, she seems great. Not only that, but by the way, her character design's fantastic as well. She's basically an adeptus as well, or something like that. She's like a half-breed. She has horns coming out of her head. That's not pigtails, it's horns. How cute. How cute. Monster girls all the way. Or animal people, whatever. I digress. She seems fantastic as well. Again, it's heartbreaking because both of these characters, like, if you're getting into Genshin right now, both of these characters look lovely, like just wonderful, like fun, different. It could be powerful in their own right. Like she's again. Man, it sucks because I love physical damage characters. I love Elu so much. Your kit looks great. She looks like a berserker. I love it. But I already have Hu Tao invested so heavily, and I already have Xiao invested so heavily, so to take on more would basically be replacing those characters, because there are solo DPSs as well, more or less. So, yeah, rough. But both of these characters I love to pieces, and who knows, I might swing for them. Probably won't get them, but who knows? Maybe I might get them, all right? Anyways, we got so much more to talk about. Let's start chunking through all this. This is the details for everything. So, yes, Zhongli, it looks like, will be coming first in 1.5. In the Gentle of Hermitage, whatever that is. But basically, we can see right there that it says that the 4-star character Yennefer is going to be in Zhongli's banner. By the way, Zhongli's banner is coming back. I think I mentioned that at the head. Fantastic. If you haven't got him, he's fantastic. He's such a good character. He's good for DPS role. He basically does everything. A little nuts. Anyways. And then we got Elu as the next 5-star that's coming after, it seems. Which, boy. I think Elu is going to be like astonishing. Like I think she might be like the next tier or on the same tier as Ganyu, in terms of like just being that character where you're like, what? what? You do how much damage and what? Like you're like a god amongst mortals. Why are you even here? You just fucking kill everybody already. Anyways, here's something that I've been saying to you guys for such a long time. It's so fucking hype. So we have a physical damage sword that is of the same series as Venti's sword. So this is going to give you a massive buff when using it. It just seems great. Before I see an Elu or Yenfi, I thought I was going to be, for the first time, going for a physical damage weapon because I love Razor, and in that weapon very much is just a physical damage character's wet dream. It's so good. It's got physical damage scaling like crazy. It's got great attack scaling. It's basically like Venti's bow. When you use your ability, you get a shit ton of other abilities buffed, so it's great. As of the artifact set, there is one that very much seems like a blatant support ability, but it's also good for a lot of other supports, but I feel like other supports have better specific buffs, but this one very much seems like an artifact set for Zhongli. We got 20% HP on the 2 set, fantastic. Yeah, so using an elemental skill, and it hits an enemy, if I'm not mistaken, an elemental skill is your E, not your alt, but I think that's how that works. Anyways, the attack for all nearby players is increased by 20%, and your shield strength is increased by 30%. Sorry, your shield strength is increased by a great deal for 3 seconds. This effect can be triggered every 0.5 seconds. This effect can be triggered even when the character who is using the artifact set is not on the field. I'm not 100% sure on exactly what that means. So again, it's an artifact set seemingly made for Zhongli, so you could use your E, put down Zhongli's pillar, it pulsates, but it has to pulsate within a 3-second window or else you're having a good bit of downtime. But it says that like the character doesn't need to be on the field. So does that just mean Zhongli can like leave and be fine? Or does that mean if I'm playing Razor using my E constantly, is that building up Zhongli's efficiency as well? I don't think that's probably how it works. But even still, I think Zhongli's like thing is on how much of a timer is the pulse on? You know, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming it's 3 seconds. That sounds about right. Where it like pulsates 1, 2, 3 pulsates. So yeah, I think that's probably like again right in Zhongli's pattern, which makes sense because both of these, one of like the fire Yenfi doesn't need an artifact set. She already has the fire set, which is perfect for her. But Zhongli and a physical set for Elu, both they need an artifact set to really take them to an incredible level. And of course, let's get into the Pale Flame. The 2-piece is a physical damage plus 25%. If you want to go 2-piece Bloodstain, 2-piece of this, that's a quick, fast, easy build. But the 4-piece on this one is amazing, especially for our boys Rosaria. Well, whatever. Anyway, Razor and Elu. Wow, the boys thing didn't really make sense at all. Anyways, regardless, when your elemental skill hits an opponent, that's your E, your attack is increased by 9 for 7 seconds. Okay, but this can be stacked up to 2 times. Okay, it's like a couple bit of attack percentage. Okay, but also this can be triggered every 3.1 seconds, so you can basically trigger this constantly. But anyways, once you achieve 2 stacks, you essentially get 100% bonus on the first 2-piece. So this is going to catapult your physical damage in a big way. And this to me is where it makes Razor and Elu specifically in a different level, because the strength of Razor isn't in his elemental damage, it's in the fact that his alt gives him a silly amount of fire rate, or swing speed. Yeah, that's the thing that makes Razor cracked in a sense, is the fact that his ult basically facilitates just the constant flipping of coins of physical damage proccing. And Elu is the same thing, except for her, it's kind of a mixed bag because you're able to do elemental damage and then a shit ton of physical damage, and everything is feeding in to the overarching physical damage that's going to take place after your sword cracks and breaks and does a massive amount of AoE damage. So that's where things are going to get different, and that's I think where we're going to see a lot of like, but also I feel like Elu is going to be just one of the best characters just to play, because if you've never played a Razor who's really good and has a lot of physical damage built in, it's so wonderful. You're not having to sit there and like apply vaporize, apply fire, and then this and that, and then freeze, and okay, now I need to heal, and now I need to manage. It's literally just walk up, hit twice, done. Gone. Because your base melee scales so hard that it just smashes. And this kind of addresses that thing to some extent, because when you start like trying to alley-oop things, you can't quite do that with physical damage. But now with this artifact, as long as you're able to use your E quickly, you're able to get your thing back faster. Now the cool part about Razor specifically is that Razor has a 3-second cooldown on his E when you start building your sigils. Every sigil you have, you can have up to 3. It lowers his E's cooldown. So you can just keep spamming his E every 3 seconds. Basically, Razor is going to be able to have 100% upkeep on this, incredibly easier. So is Elu. 7 seconds. Her thing comes back in 5 seconds. So yeah, she'll be able to constantly keep this on 100% upkeep. But Razor will be able to get to that max physical damage faster than her. So there's that. But yes, this is like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited because for such a long time we haven't had like a physical damage set for Razor or anybody, so it's just been a really awkward nightmare to buff them using the Gladiator set. By the way, yes, this will now take the throne of the best set outside of the Gladiator set, unless there's a character that scales specifically off of weapon to swing speed or whatever, and not physical damage like Razor and of course Elu, and also Rosaria to some extent. But also Rosaria has, I think her cooldown for her E is around 7 seconds exactly, so she'll be able to, I think, keep this upkeep on this as well. I think it's 6 seconds or something like that, but I digress. Even just 2-piece this, 2-piece Bloodstain for her would be much better than the other stuff. And now we're getting into events. All right, and now we got Hangouts. Series 2 is coming. We're getting Diona, and we're getting part 2 for Noelle, which is what everyone loved, and everyone was like, Noelle is the best. She's working her ass off. She seems like good people. I'm in. So it's cool that we're getting that fast a Noelle thing, because everyone said Noelle's is fantastic. Again, that's how you build a character. And then we're also having this. So we're having part 2 to Zhongli's questline, which is actually interesting that they're applying that sentiment or that thing. Ideally, there'd be 3 acts in each legendary 5-star character or whatever. Of course, we're getting Zhongli's right now, and then also we're getting Elu's. Fan-fucking-tastic. But also, in Zhongli's questline, we're going to be introduced to the brand new boss, a weekly boss that we're going to actually have to fight. He is a part of, or he is in this tree. This is one of the new weekly bosses, basically. He's below that, like, tree that I'm sure you've seen. It kind of looks like the most weird tree ever, and you're like, that's something in the future. Well, it's a world boss, turns out. So this is going to be an addition to one of the world bosses. I don't know if he's going to drop another random bullshit thing like Child does, so that we can't level up our characters. Kill me. I don't know. If Elu, I have her open extra right now. Let me check. You guys can't see it because, you know, it's just a nightmare, the world we're living in. Ooh, you rat bastards. Yep. Okay. So yeah, Elu scales off of this. Oh no. What about Yenfi? Yenfi, do you? Yep, I think you do too. You do too. But okay, well that's obvious, but still not good. So yeah, Yenfi and Elu. This is the talent material we need to farm. Sweet, so you happen to have a lot of every other talent material. Great. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those things where I think they're like, it's a weird way to limit the insaneness of Elu and Yenfi, because I imagine getting their talents up high is you're gonna be able to see the big numbers, but because we physically can't do that, then we're gonna, you know, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, this is new world boss. It looks fantastic. It looks like it has many different phases. Again, it has like a tree tail. It looks very much like the Geo Vishap, except, you know, amplified, and has a tree on its tail. Neat. But it does look like it has a lot of different phases. Again, unlike the Geo Vishap, it seems like it's just cranked up to 10 with all of its weird phases. Again, ice, ball shooting, homing ice things at you, rough, water, a bunch of water mines, electricity just being everywhere. Honestly, the ice one looks like the worst because it should look like mental. But it does look like it's enough. Also, they're adding, I think this is a constant thing, but they're adding an ice cube or whatever. The way they were making this sound, it made it sound like it wasn't an event. It was actually just like a new boss that they're adding in Dragonspine, which makes sense. But apparently we're gonna need to find a way how to crack this thing, so it's going to start healing basically, and we need to find a way to crack the seal of that. I would assume it's fire or something, or whatever. I'm sure it'll be cracked in the first day, because I'm sure it's not that complicated. But yes, it's a brand new boss for us to fight. It's not a weekly boss. It is just a cryo boss. So go team. I don't know if. Oh, give me a minute, because there's the flower, but let me guess, because of Elu, there's not those fuckers. Yup. Would you look at that? Sons of bitches. Sons of bitches. Yes, it's a cryohypostasis. Fucking shit. Okay, yeah, so Elu is going to require this material. It seems like only Elu right now. I'm sure they'll add more, but kill me. Great. So you're gonna need to farm those sons of bitches. They have negated. Rough. If you want Elu, you're gonna have to grind this thing, as well as the weekly boss. But of course, the weekly boss you can't. But at least you can do this one, so you can level her up. But hopefully, have some fragmented resin saved up, because you're gonna need it if you're gonna want to level up your blue-haired waifu all the way to sky high. Not only that, in Spiral Abyss, it looks like there's going to be adding a brand new Abyss Harbinger or something like that. But basically, we fought the Assassin Abyss, and now we're fighting the Wizard Abyss, which if it hits you with his orbs, it's going to take your alt power, I believe, not your E power. Or maybe it is your E. I'm not sure. Regardless, crazy. Assholes. Hate that. Hate when I don't have my alt, when your alt just gets negated entirely. But it's cool to have new characters like this in the world space, and yeah, I hope they do just like eventually within the story lower their health and just like throw 3 of them at us, because that would seem way more chaotic and fun to me, because yeah, and it would also incentivize you actually dodging, although mobile is always something in contention with that. But I digress. Where is it, my dudes? There it is. So this is housing, and oh my god, I was not, even from the trailer that I seen this morning, I thought, oh, it looks like it's pretty, like, it looks like you're able to make a shed. You're able to make like a town that looks blank. But then they actually show you the process of doing it, and you're like, oh, holy shit. So first of all, you can pick between many different worlds. Yeah, so these are all the worlds that you can choose to like set up your shop in. That one is obvious, the one I'm choosing. It's just immaculate. And these are the 3. Why the fuck would you not go with the one that's the beautiful sunset? Also, we're gonna have this cute little chubby monkey in a teacup who is gonna be telling us how to do everything, and also like basically being our butler / our architect. Giving crafting things for us and etc. And apparently how you get Adeptus like power to build things and to get new items and whatnot is by simply building existing items in your kit. Yeah, so there's like a crafting menu, so essentially you're going to want to build as much as you possibly can, even if, honestly, I would advise, even if it's just like building shit and throwing it on the ground, because that's going to build you Adeptus currency, and that can buy you resources and also just help you, I think, in the future. But yeah, try to get cute with it. Also, it requires a significant, well, actually not that much. It doesn't require that many materials, and I think you do have to make it over and over and over again, though. I don't think you can just make 1 or 2, or make 1 and then have it forever. I think you do need to make it for a good bit, and that's also why it has a timer on it. So I think this is a way for them to kind of negate progression to some extent, which is why I think for the first week you'll see people who just shotgun blast everything in their world, and then find a place for it later. Because yeah, again, the fact that this is like, yeah, it's cheap, but it takes 14 hours to build. So, and I don't think it's one of those things where you build it once and you have it forever. It's, especially with just how low the resources are, I think it's most likely you build 1 and you have to build many more after it. And again, 14 hours. Yikes. Anyways, maybe you can build like stacks of 5. I don't know. That's pretty rough. But this is what made me like, look at it. It's like, what is it called? That game that everybody loves. He's like, it's like, it's old as fuck, but it got rebooted. Stardew Valley? No. Is it started? No. It's, you're on like islands, you're making cabbages, I don't know. It's, I'm sure you loved it. But anyways, it's basically, it's giving me vibes of that. Yeah, look at that. So you can have like, and it's a pretty big open area. You can go to your friends' worlds and see what they got going on. The only thing that this is missing, I think, is for you to be able to like have a garden and like not have to farm an endless amount of like stupid flowers, but just to have like a good bit of flowers in your house that resets every day. That way you're not just building something for nothing, which sure, it's looks cool, which could be something, but you're building something for a slight advantage rather than having to run around Mondstadt and bounce around 1,000 times. Even if it took like 60 flowers to build one flower pot, I would be into it because it's investment. All right, in the future it will yield me saving me my time. Maybe not actually. That's like a really bad conversion, but I digress. Anyway, yeah. So this is also something huge. You can build massive buildings. Like this is like again, you can build a kingdom. This is kind of what I wanted. I wanted like to have like a shitty hut that I can make a fucking huge area and put amazing things in. I don't know what the cap on this is. I feel like they probably would be like, this is going to put a lot of storage on your goddamn your computer, so let's chill out. All right, if you want to have a big house, you're gonna have to like cough up a lot of storage on your computer. I'd hope that's how it works. That way it's not like limited to just what we see here. But anyways, how we essentially, or this is something really cool, every single time you build something within your world, this is what I was talking about, you're going to be accruing Adeptus energy needed, or generator or whatever. And it's on a 24 hours or 26 hour or whatever cycle that you'll gain this yield. And essentially, this incentivizes you to constantly keep building your house. But like we've seen, there's crafting limitations, there's timers that we gotta wait and do. So this is something that's gonna be a slow burn, consistency, but persistence over just throwing resources in there that you might have built up, but you can't. Again, everyone's gonna be stuck in the timer of hell waiting for your artifacts, I think, to be made, which isn't that bad. It's a 14-hour cycle. If you manage to keep doing it every day and you manage to be creative with other kind of light sources, then yeah, I think that can work out pretty well. But anyways, the reason why you want that Adeptus currency or whatever is because of that. It gets you like fabric, it gets you all these other things, it gives you experience books. I don't know if experience books will be, again, I don't know if this is a permanent fix. Like I don't know if this is like, hey, because it seems like we're going to be constantly accruing Adeptus energy even if the housing goes away. So is this a way for us to, like, does this refresh? Yeah, like I feel like fabric is going to become a weird resource to get. Damn it, the stupid like in progress notes, they're blocking that. Shit. It says 6 hours and 56 seconds, but I don't know if that means this shop is going to reset in that allotted time frame, or if that's just the end of the event portion of your home as well. Unfortunate. Not only that, but there's going to be this guy, this random person who is in your world, I think, and you can buy special resources from him, like dogs, and it's supposedly, are those like actual like huge islands? Because Jesus, that's the case. But yeah, there's plenty of customization there. I'm pretty hyped. I'm so excited, dude. That's investment that I can constantly keep pushing into. I'm not going to make a great house. I'm not like gifted in this architectural way, but I can definitely keep chipping away at it, and maybe like 2 months from now, I'll be like, hey, I may finish last, but I finish strong. Okay, looks beautiful in here. Fuck all y'all. Anyways, okay, so now we're getting into the events, the kind of like micro events, but this one is pretty promising. It kind of takes things from previous events and melds them in together. You know the event where we actually got like, you got to scale the difficulty and you got to fight all those cubes, and it was really pretty damn hard, more or less. Well, this is the same thing, except now they're adding in this way of taking currency, they're taking these crystals, and infusing them into your run, making it easier. But you can also scale up the difficulty, and also you basically give yourself a bigger wallet by having your friends' characters in your roster. That way it'll buff it. So yeah, this is basically like the Siphanic Symphony or whatever it is, and again, you can add your friends into these little slots and they'll give you more room to basically put in these crystals that will give you buffs and make you have an easier time, as you guys can see there. And this is what like the process of getting those gems is going around collecting them and then spending them, of course, in the special arenas. One of the things that they mentioned is that this is trying to kick your ass. This is supposed to be an event that's difficult, so they're apparently going to be like stripping your characters of certain things. Like there's no elemental resonance, there's no drinking potions, there's nothing, or no eating, there's not. It's like supposed to be kind of like a challenging take on for people who've been wanting to like have a challenging aspect of the game. Yeah, and you guys can see that they're not throwing little enemies at you, they're throwing a Abyss Herald, that's what they're called, along with a lot of other things at you, and with various debuffs and buffs to various things. So this is very interesting, and it seems like they're all different domains that seem great. And again, for people who've been wanting challenge and to really have a place where you can test out your builds, that seems like their answer to you to some extent. This is interesting. It's like dungeons, but like in the true sense of the word, except instead of you being able to take your characters that you've leveled up, they are going to give a set amount of characters that they've built for you to use. So it's kind of an event to test your knowledge about, okay, well, I know that this electric Fatui bastard is going to require ice, so I need to bring in an ice person to deal with him, or just kill him as fast as possible. And yeah, so that's that. Various rewards. That sounds amazing. Again, you're not going to be able to take your characters in there, it seems. You're going to be able to take from the roster of characters that they give you. Kind of like it kind of seems like a little training arena for Abyss, honestly. So this is an event where we're going to be running around talking to Hilly Churls, reading Ellie Musk's like Hilly Churl diary of how the hell to talk to them, and basically find them. Go team. And then there's Prop Hunt, which is just weird as hell. Yep, it's Prop Hunt. It's exactly what you thought it was. It's Prop Hunt. You're gonna be able to turn into boxes. You're gonna run around. Okay, dude. And they did intertwine it with like Mondstadt Festival and like Mythos, which was cute. But yeah, we're getting Prop Hunt, baby. Again, I like it. I love that. I love, like, again, all of this seems incredibly promising. There's an event that seems like it's meant to kick your teeth in. There's an event that seems like it's meant to test your ability to create teams and to understand what you need in the team. There's new characters that seem incredibly strong and powerful. There's a brand new housing thing that could be our progression for 1.5. Oh, also the last thing that we're going to be getting, the final thing for 1.5, is the Overflow Mastery. Essentially, it's like the Overflow event, but instead of character XP books or Mora, it's going to be character talent book material, leveling up, all that stuff. So we're going to be able to go over there and get more of that stuff. And then there's various changes. Again, we're basically getting a friendship XP in co-op mode is doubled. So actually, I love that. I didn't even know that's exactly what it was, but that's amazing. Again, they're reducing the cost of all of the world bosses so that we can do all of them in 1 day's worth of resin, which is fantastic. So it used to be 60, now it's 30. Big money. We're also getting weird mailing things, whatever. Seems like a weird thing. Also, you can lower the file size of the game based on taking away the Japanese or English voices that you don't use. So yeah, for mobile people that can be huge if you're wanting space on your phone. And this was some shit that pissed me off. Okay, what is this? What is this? Alright, so apparently we didn't get this in the fucking English voiceover trailer. I'm pissed. This is wrong. But this is basically Inazuma. This is Inazuma. This is like them. This is them in their test phase, their concept art. This is what we're going to be seeing, hopefully, when we go to Inazuma. But take concept art with a grain of salt. But also, there's a lot of shit in Genshin that looks pretty close to form to most of this, so it's not like it's out of the realm of possibilities. Not only that, but people are suspecting that the god, the Electro goddess, whatever, who's Inazuma's god or Archon, is her, this chibi version of this pink-haired, cute kind of person. Fantastic. She looks great even as a chibi weird thing. Also, just incredibly aesthetic, but also not exactly the lightning vibes, but her eyes are, I guess, purple, so a little bit. Anyways, this is just the immaculate, beautiful, wonderful art for Inazuma. All of it looks so good, like incredibly good. I can't believe it. Oh, and that one's probably my favorite out of all of the ones when I was seeing this. It just looking at all this, and then that's cool. That's like the mines and some lore things there. Anyways, awesome. Again, I'm just blown away at, like, if they're able to execute this, Inazuma is going to be pretty hefty. But not only that, it's going to have like various different levels. And so for those guys who do not know, Inazuma is based off of Japanese culture. So I believe Liyue was based on Chinese. Mondstadt was, I think, someone said German. Weirdly enough. But yes, Liyue is built off of, Inazuma is built off of Japanese culture. So we got the cherry blossom trees. Oh, the weeb in me is crazy right now, but can't wait. This looks so immaculate, so beautiful. But to be honest, kind of pissed. Why didn't we get it? Why didn't we get a look at that shit? That's wrong. But the concept art for Inazuma looks breathtaking. I cannot wait. It seems great. Also, I don't know, man. It always kind of happens, but I'm very torn on Ilu and Yenfi because there's so much stuff that they've added that to me is wonderful. But if you've been like saving, I think this is one of the best times to spend. Like, my advice, if you don't have any power on your team, try to get Ilu. try, hope if you do, good. Then just grind the physical artifact set, and now you have a fucking silly, just base good DPS that can basically slot into anything. And it doesn't require you to like switch to this character, switch to that character, etc. Also, if you're wanting a support character like Zhongli or like a DPS character, Zhongli can be everything, but I would highly advise you go for Yanfei as well. Yanfei does seem like a fantastic character. If you're just like if you're like, I want my husbando, but also my account is weak as fuck, then I think Yanfei could also take care of you immensely in terms of just being a good DPS. Not only because she's ranged and shit like that, but that she does mass AoE damage, and most of the things you're doing in endgame is Spiral Abyss and Domains, which they just throw an onslaught of enemies at you, so that AoE damage can be huge, and also she's fire based. Yeah, like that's and also we have new artifact sets that make other characters even more viable now, Razor being the one that comes to mind. And now we have we have weapons, like a legendary weapon that seems like it's not specifically for a niche character, but could be used for every character that comes out that scales off physical damage, you know, Razor and Elu, of course. So yeah, this is we're having a lot of problems here, and I don't have that many primo gems to even say. So I think what I'm gonna do, this is my personal strat. So here it is. I'm going to skip Zhongli and Elu. Or Yanfei, sorry. Skip Zhongli and Yanfei. I'm going to play the test arena of Elu, and I'm going to see if I love her more than Razor, which is never going to happen, but maybe I'll enjoy her kit and she'll be strong enough to carry my ass, so I'll be like, alright, I can't deny the fact that she's just going to make everything a cakewalk, and why not at least have two teams that can do that, because Xiao can already do that for me. I don't know, because the only other option is me swinging on the weapon banner. And I don't want to do that. The weapon banner is a trap. Everyone said this. It's just facts. But it could be used for Razor. So, I don't know. I'm lost. But I did build up some pity. Yeah. We might be able to go for Elu and then just throw everything in the weapon banner and hope we get some. I don't know. Well, also we gotta see what the weapon banner has. And also we gotta see what Elu's banner is. Elu's banner can be so shit that I'm like, nope. Not worth the OP Claymore user. We don't know if anything's gonna be OP yet, but it just seems like both of these characters have incredible potential, and I can't wait. 1.5 seems to be way more stacked and way more in line of what people in the community have been clamoring for, in terms of challenge, in terms of meaningful content, in terms of ways to test your build, in terms of characters that seem like they're genuinely like interesting and different. Whereas yes, Rosario is awesome, but she's an amplification character, not necessarily like a character that does something like Yanfei's doing right now, where she's building up charges, expelling them, and you can build around that in a really beautiful way. I digress, and Elu can be said the same thing. I'm so excited, can't wait for the housing, can't wait for these characters. It's looking like the 1.5 is going to be way better than 1.4, depending on what you like, but I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what kind of worlds you guys make. Anyways, thank you so much for your time. I hopefully enjoy. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I cannot wait. Let me know which character you're most excited for. I know Elu, or Yanfei, sorry, I'm probably haven't given her enough credit, because she does seem like she can be fantastic. She seems like a pyro berserk damage caster, which is exactly what I've kind of been wanting. But I don't know. We're in a weird place with like power right now for me. So I digress. Thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. I would highly advise you guys go check this out. I'll try to link it in the description if I don't yell at me. Thank you so much, and goodbye.